A few days ago, a student from the University of Jos was kidnapped on his way to maybe Kaduna or so. Now, this is a very, very unfortunate event. A video was released by the bandits where they were torturing him. When I first came across that video, I felt so sad, and this was my reaction to that video. All right, so after a while, following my reactions, and I saw lots of reactions from Nigerians, of course, Muslims inclusive. After that, I read a post from Hymar Idibie on Facebook. So this was what he wrote: Islamic terrorists, you are a fool if you still refer them as bandits. You know, they kidnapped this man and tortured him on video. The post is on your screen there. So Hymar said the John, who was the victim, he first denied he's a Christian because he thought it would make him go. And then the beatings and the pain became too much. He shouted, Jesus. And this monster said, oh, I thought you said you are not a Christian, and further intensified the punishment. Now, when you read on, it said, it just tried to say, like, Muslims are responsible for, this kind of activities. This is what you have become used to. And then the dangerous aspect of this is that when things like this happen, it becomes very difficult for even Muslims to even react. On the one side, you are empathizing, you are feeling sad, feeling angry, that this is done to human beings. And then on the other hand, you begin to defend yourself that these people do not belong to you, even when you yourself are a victim. But now let us look at Hymar Idibie's argument. He said he first denied that he's a Christian because he thought it would make them let him go. So why is Hymar Idibie contradicting himself? If these guys were they Muslims, when John, the victim now, said he was not a Christian, why did they not leave him alone? Now these guys are Muslims, right? They are Islamic terrorists like Hymar Idibie and Alex Bashir wants us to believe. Hymar said that when the beatings and the pain become too much, the man shouted Jesus, and then the terrorists, the bandits, so they got angry that, oh, you lied to us. But the most important question here would be, when John denied being a Christian, now this terrorist, now that means must have seen a non-Christian who is most likely a Muslim. Why did they not leave him alone? Why did they continue to beat him if they thought he was a Muslim? The only reason why those people would have intensified that beating is the same thing a thief would do to you. If he comes to your house and then he asks you if there's money, and then you say no, you have no money, and then they eventually seize money in your house, and then they will get angry and probably even kill you or do whatever ungodly thing they want to do. And that was what played out there. Not necessarily because the guy is a Christian in the real sense of it. If the terrorists were really after Christians to say, and they denied being a Christian, why were they beating him? Why were they flogging him? Flogging him to the extent that he shouted, Jesus. They should have been tapping him or giving him, honey, or giving him milk, or giving him food to eat, because of course he's a Muslim like them. But they beat him, a supposed non-Christian, they beat him so intensely until he shouted Jesus. And then they even further intensified that beating. And Hymar Idibie, in a single post, ended up contradicting himself. And it's even pathetic. When people die, we have to like, oh, this is bad, this is terrible. But at the same time, we have to set up the camera to start to make this kind of argument. Is this the kind of video I should be making as at this time, when somebody has been kidnapped and 30 million naira has been required as ransom? But why will I not do that? Because I'm going to be making another video after this, where some students in Ibadan, they were prevented from entering the exam hall for JAM because they wore the hijab. And I'm going to show you lots of comments under the post of Punch newspapers. Lots of them were like, oh, why are terrorists entering the exam hall? What does a terrorist have to do with JAM? You spread these false narratives, and after that, once we want to react, you ask us not to react. That we should focus on the bigger picture, which is how to combat terrorism. But if we do that, you are going to let this narrative stick to us. Let me also show you something from Alex Bashir. Alex Bashir was with, I think, News Central or TVC. I think it's TVC. And then he said he has not been inciting anyone. Everything he has been about peace. Now look at this on your screen. He said, John Arum, a kidnapped Christian boy tortured by Muslims, yet to be found. Look at me, a Muslim. Look at me, a Muslim. I have written more than 1,000 articles over the last 10 years on Islam, calling people to Islam, explaining narratives, putting things in proper perspective regarding Islam. Look at me. Compare me with these terrorists that Alex Bashir is saying Muslims. Alex Bashir put I and these people in the same box. The same thing Hymar Idibie or whatever is his name is trying to do. Go and look out there. Go and look at Muslim scholars. Go and look at Muslim apologists. Go and look at dais, people who call people to Islam. Go and look at how they look like. Do they bear any semblance with these terrorists? Look at these two guys who are beating the hell out of John. May the curse of Allah be upon them. Do we look alike? Do they look like people who are spreading Islam? Or it is just your own narrative? And then you do these things when we react. You say, no, we should not react. And if we don't, that means someone is going to probably kill me. If he sees me with beards like this, or he thinks I look like a Muslim, he's probably going to kill me because he thinks I'm a terrorist apologist, or maybe I'm even sponsoring terrorism myself, just on account of being a Muslim or having Bashir in my name. And that is how we can't stop. And you can't gaslight us, you can't deceive us, you can't bully us into silence. If we are all going to focus on ending terrorism in this country, we all must come together. Not when something happens, you start lying, spreading false narratives against Muslims. Because if it gets to that, it becomes even difficult to empathize. Because by the time you have spent your energy, your resources, trying to play those narratives, and then what energy is there to even talk against terrorism and banditry? This video is for Muslims. The likes of Hymar Idibie, was his name, Alex Bashir, even if they don't say it, they have this very ungodly agenda. On the one hand, they will tell you, oh, we love Muslims. But yeah, on the other hand, they will show you reasons why they have this evil agenda against Islam Muslims. So that if you, your daughters, your fathers, your husbands, your spouses, your children, when you go out there, they want anybody to see you and profile you immediately. And we have to speak against these biases. We have to kick against this kind of stereotypes. And for those who are not Muslims, you must understand that this kind of narratives, they are counterproductive to the peace of our country. Nobody likes terrorism. Nobody likes banditry. As a Muslim myself, I'm not safe. Now, I take extra measures anytime I'm traveling. Why? Because I know the terrorists out there, we are not the same. They are not my brothers. We don't share the same faith. We don't share the same thought process. And that's something everyone should know. So if anyone wants everyone in this country to join hands together to combat terrorism, we must stop this kind of counterproductive stereotypes, biases, and narratives.